Good evening, everybody. My name is Stanley Thunderheart, but of course, you all know me by now as Bear. And first and foremost, I just want to tell everybody Happy Independence Day. This is what it is today, to really remember the country that we live in, especially if you're all here in America. That we definitely need to not only appreciate what we do have, but also continue on at this time frame right now that we're in right now to keep on fighting for what we believe in and fight for what we know and what we own up to for our freedoms and things like that, because we cannot let certain types of people who want to destroy America destroy American and destroy our way of life. And so we've got to stand up. So yes, even though I am saying Happy Independence Day and so forth, what I really want to talk to you about today are something that is actually basically is about freedom of the body and freedom of the mind and things like that. And so one of the key things that's causing a lot of the problems that a lot of people are not talking about and a lot of people don't know about are called the nanobots. Today I'm going to be talking about the nanobots technology really briefly in regards to various things that I have been not only running into online per se, but if I was just simply reading about nanobots, I wouldn't be doing this video right now. And the reason I'm saying this in such confidence is because I also have ran into people who got affected by nanobots recently. Just about, maybe like when I'll say like right now so far, I've been hearing about people getting into nanobots, but I haven't had a chance to treat certain people. Now, I did treat one person that had a nanobot. And one of the key things, of course, but then before I even went on to treat someone with a nanobots, I was made aware of nanobot technology from a YouTube video and things like that. And so these nanobots, what they are basically these machines, these little robots, so to speak, who are really tiny, as small as a germ per se. They're small as a germ. And what it is that these things, these robots, are nanotechnology. They were created, of course, to try to do. See, basically, if you heard about the mark of the beast, how the people were planning to plant chips in you, so they can monitor where you live, where you work, also control your way of how you do things, and even if they want to, stop and freeze your accounts and even kill you or read your mind and things like that. That's what the mark of the beast is. You see, and so with that being said, this nanotechnology is like a plan B, so to speak, because not everybody was going to go for the mark of the beast. Not everybody was going to go for that. You see, and so from what I was told, not just what I was told, but what I was given to me via downloads from my guides and so forth, from the angelics and things of that nature, these nanobots technologies were actually were forced upon us in a sense through chemtrails and various other chemical attacks and things like that. See, so what they do is they spread a lot of stuff in the air through pollution and so forth, and then they will bring these nanobots down, and then to get onto the humans to get inside the skin. And then what happened is, it's not activated yet until it gets into a certain enzyme where it takes over the enzyme, and then it starts basically becoming the life, so to speak. So these nanobots are, these things are definitely one of those nanobots that create various other types of sicknesses and even body damages. And marmalones is one of the key things that you can tell that someone has really been attacked seriously by a nanobot. Now, another thing that I have seen so far in my own experience with treating certain people with nanobot technology is the constant itching to a point where I've seen people like really scratch to a point where it's actually inside of them. Not only are they affecting outside of their body, but they're also affecting in too. So it's like they're getting itch on the outside as well as the inside of their skin. So, and basically, and there are a lot of things that you can treat them. There are various ways you can treat the nanobots, but I'll tell you about it in just in a bit. So what I'm saying here, these, I want to make sure the bug is not on my phone or anything like that. Sorry about that. So what I'm saying here is that all these, you see all the chemtrails and all the different pollutions and all the different psyops that the people are doing, especially with crowded, when people started crowding around, start getting together and so forth after this whole COVID-19 situation. Now they're basically, it's been going around where they're doing all kinds of pollutions. They're putting all kinds of chemicals out in the trash cans and stuff so they can affect people, so they can get the nanobots in. You see, a lot of people don't know that these nanobots, if it's too much of them, and if it gets imbalanced by their diets and things like that, they can grow to be such a danger to the person that, like I said before, it can create sicknesses, and it can even kill them, kill somebody and so forth. Or a person can be on a computer with a nanobot chip and then press a button if they want to kill somebody or so, and make it look like a natural cause, but it's really because of an invasion that happened within the person. And then all these different attacks of the antibodies and things like that. These nanobots, they tend to do that. Now, like I said, there are ways you can counteract it. You can counteract the nanobots on this. And one of the key things is to basically be aware of what's going on and what is going on, because a lot of people right now are so afraid. There are people who are waking up or who are woke already and know and see through the bullshit about this coronavirus pandemic, or pandemic as I like to call it. But here's the idea. A lot of people think that the coronavirus is so dangerous that everybody's all locking down and doing all kinds of stuff, while there's other threats out there way worse than the coronavirus. And the nanobots are our next big threat. And make no mistake about it, they are our next big threat. And so there are things that you can do to prevent these nanobot technologies. There are ways that you can do to counteract against them. So one of the key things that if you wanted to do, learn to solve problems and actually learn the healing methods and so forth, one of the key things that I would suggest you do is to sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/Bear and Rainbow Shamanic Healers. And it's only $5 a month, and you can definitely get certain knowledge that I and Rainbow, basically Rainbow myself, would like to do it to the public, but we feel they'll be more valuable for people who actually are invested in it and want to really get the knowledge. Because the people that I have taught recently how to actually counteract the nanotechnology to help this particular relative of theirs that was attacked, basically they of course paid for my services. They paid for my service, and they're constant clients of mine. So with that being said, I basically have, of course, I charge to do the healing work, so forth, but I also taught them the ways too, and how to go about it, how to counteract against nanobot technologies. And then Rainbow, of course, could teach, her way, how we can counteract against nanotechnologies and so forth. Because these nanobots, I'm telling you, they're not a joke. And these things, like I said before, if we don't nip it in the bud, we can definitely take they'll definitely take us out if we allow it to happen. But at the same time, we also have to find a way to, like I said, counteract them to a point where, sorry, I'm just going to make sure I know what's going on. Sorry about that. Like I said, there's ways that we have to find ways to learn about these nanobots and counteract them. So I'm going to definitely give you some sources and so forth. Actually, like I said, you'll learn more about this on our Patreon at patreon.com/Bear Rainbow Shamanic Healers. So that's one of the key things I want to touch base on, because like I said, and if you want to, go ahead and Google nanobots or nanobot technology, because right now, like I said, the marketed beast is not just one thing. And now there's marketed beasts in different other levels too. And so this is another version of the marketed beast. This is basically plan B of the marketed beast, except now they're just sloppily just throwing shit out there now in the air and hoping that whatever falls upon sticks and so forth. Like I said before, people are so afraid of this coronavirus and all this shit, or C-19 as I like to call it, and yet there's other threats out there way worse than that. So we need to be aware of these kind of things. So in any event, one thing before I get going though, because the sun is about to go down pretty soon, and it is Independence Day, so who knows if people, even though a lot of people right now, they're canceling all different fireworks shows and everything. Yeah, there's people are gonna still go out and start, doing, fireworks and firecrackers and all kinds of stuff. Because, right now, like I said, we're in a time right now with all this lockdown going on because of this craziness. It's really getting people to realize and appreciate the freedoms that we are appreciate the freedoms that we were having, and all of a sudden now everything's been taken away from us. And like I said, we have to stand up. And one of the key things that I've been happy about, as I found out just recently, about the about especially CHAZ that got dismantled and destroyed. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I've actually talked about this recently in one of my other videos, that place and the Black Lives Matter movement and Antifa need to be dealt with. And guess what? They are getting dealt with now. People are rising up. Various militias of the right are rising up. And guess what? Cops that were defunded, cops that were fired, cops that have lost their jobs, that have lost their way of life, that may have lost their purpose in their lives. Now, I'm talking about the good cops. I'm talking about the cops that are good. I'm not talking about these Satanist, Masonic bastards of the KKK type of police that infiltrated the police department, just like they infiltrated every other institution. Okay? So let's not get it twisted. Let's not confuse the KKK police, the corruption of that, with the various police that actually are enforcing the rules and so forth and things like that. And so with that, what I'm saying here is that these cops, now that were fired or that were let go and everything, they're now joining the militias, and now there's an uprising now to fight back against these people. Yes, that's what needs to happen. But you know what? We need to keep on pressing on with this. We need to make sure that this whole Antifa movement, this whole Black Lives Matter movement gets crushed. And you know what else needs? And of course now CHAZ got dismantled because obviously the mayor of Seattle, or the current mayor of Seattle, finally had enough because her house was nearly destroyed and so forth, to a point where she finally let the cops loose. Finally. And listen, I'll talk about the police in a minute, but at least it's the fact that she let the cops loose to destroy and dismantle and take out all these people that were in CHAZ. And now, CHAZ it's no more. It's only this sovereign, supposedly sovereign little nation only lasted 1 month. And then the warlord that was there, who was a rapper called Raz, I'm trying to remember his name off the bat. Oh Lord! This guy right now, he just lost his whole empire just like that because they decided that they wanted to start killing people and start doing all kinds of shootings and bullying people. And like I said this before, they were bullying people, they were raping people, they were doing all kinds of different things. They were, now since Seattle pretty much got the whole land back, so to speak, now you got a bunch of other far right nuts that are really wanting to do things a certain way. And so now, there's a lot of implosion right now within the Democratic Party. And that's what needs to happen. You know what? Let me tell you this. Since now CHAZ has been dismantled, let's dismantle Black Lives Matter. Let's dismantle Antifa. And more important than that, let's go ahead and dismantle the Satanist, Democratic, far-left party and organization. Because let's dismantle them all. Let's dismantle the Democratic Party once and for all. We don't need them around anymore. There's other, like I said before, and I said this in my other videos, there are other parties out there right now who can rise up, can build up, and we can either have all these other type of parties with certain ideas and so forth, without having to hurt people, without having to bully people and destroy this whole country and destroy everyone else involved and things like that. So big ups to the mayor, even though it is too little too late, and it really is for you, too little too late for this current mayor. I don't remember her name off the bat right now, but the point of the matter is that, and then the governor of Washington, he needs to step down too. This governor and the mayor, they all need to step down. The judges, the prosecutors, the people that have allowed all this. all need to step down and be arrested and actually be in jail for treason, because that's basically what this is, a treasonous act. And I've said this before: if you're not gonna if you're gonna at least be tyrannical, if you're gonna be tyrannical and you're gonna be doing all this to the other people to try to run power, at least if you can do law, order, safety, security, then you're fine. But if you can't even provide that, which she didn't really do it for a long time, she allowed this to happen. The governor allowed this to happen. They invited it. And she even says it's a summer. It's like summer love or some bullshit like that. I'm like, oh my goodness. So no, she needs to not only be impeached, but she needs to be arrested too and tried for treason, endangering other people, and she needs to be sued too. So I'm glad other businesses are rising up and suing her and suing these other people. And like I said, people are rising up, and we need to do more and more of that, because this is one of the ways that we can defeat these Democratic bastards and kick them out once and for all and dismantle them. We don't need them around anymore. I don't know about y'all, but I'm done with them, and y'all should be done with them too. So anyways, I don't mean to go on and around about this. It's just a matter of the fact that I have been so glad that things are happening. And then not to mention, I'm in a sense, Donald Trump has, of course, made a new law now that you cannot be destroying monuments anymore, because that's really destroying property, And even though, yes, a lot of these political figures may not be the greatest people around, and yeah, they did some stupid shit and some fuckery with various, indigenous natives and different things like that. I mean, George Washington had slaves, and they had sure, they weren't perfect. They had a lot of different things that they did, and some of them were just bastards and so forth. And at the same time, this is part of American history. Now, granted, would you like it if you had your own history and you put your statues up there and you start then people start tearing them down of your ancestors and so forth? But the truth of the matter is, the reason why their statues are up was because a lot of the times they were victorious. So history is basically being made for people who are victorious, not necessarily people who are victims. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So the more you know about various perspectives of your history, from the natives, the blacks, and everything, as long as you all know your perspectives, it's going to be a whole different narrative than what the Europeans have shared to you. Because when you're being a victim, you'll believe pretty much any narrative. Yeah, you understand what I'm talking about. So by actually learning to empower yourself, educate yourself to figure out what really happened, what other narratives, what other perspectives are out there, you'll get to have a different narrative, and you'll get to feel a certain way, and you get to feel better about your situation, because not everything is all what they said it is. That's what I want to let you know. History is recorded by various people, but remember, there are other perspectives with the history too, from black perspectives and native perspectives, Hispanic perspectives, and all kinds of different other perspectives that you need to remember. So, because remember, even though sure, it may have started with the Freemasons, the white Masons that started this whole country, but now it has now becoming involved for the melting pot to happen. And so we need to definitely learn to know what's the difference between actual racism and the various Satanist groups that are trying to create a divide. There are worse things than racism, folks, and that's Satanism. We need to really look at it and see it for ourselves and confront it. Confront the racism, confront the ideology, confront the people who are partaking in this. And like I said, defeat all that once and for all. So, in any event, I'm going to get going in a bit. Like I said, the sun's about to go down. I need to head home because as you heard, they already started doing the fireworks and all kinds of different things. So I'm going to have to get going in a bit. So that way I could just head home. I could just, be in the house. The cats could be in the house. My cats could be in the house. And that way all this fireworks and all that will not, it'll be less irritable. So, to say the least. All right, now I'm gonna get going. Like I said before, so go to our. If you want to get more information, like I said, go to bearrainbow.com, and also, like I said before, join our Patreon for $5 a month to start with, at patreon.com/bear and rainbow shamanic healers. So I just want to let you know that. Wow, so it sounds like the craziness is starting already. Anyways, like I said before, I'm gonna so like I said, now it's just a matter of, like I said, learning the ways of how we like I said, we teach certain things that we will not teach out straight out in the public eye unless the people are invested in it. So that's one of the key things. So to learn about, like I said, how to counteract the nanobot technologies and various other ways of how you do healing, psychic protection, and things like that. Like I said, once again, go to our Patreon at patreon.com/bear rainbow shamanic healers. So that's why I thought I'd let you know that. So, all right, now I'm gonna get going. Take care. Happy Independence Day. Like I said, I could say 4th of July, but no, I want to be more specific. Independence Day. Let's really see, because I see a lot of times, a lot of people like to say Happy 4th of July, which we all know what it is. But I remember one time, let me see, years ago when I was a young man, a kid, so to speak, a brother, a gentleman, basically I told him Happy 4th of July. He says, no, it's not Happy 4th of July. It says 4th of July is a regular day. What you meant to say was Happy Independence Day. Because what he was telling me was that Independence Day puts a special meaning to things. Puts a special power and strength and energy to things. So we have to watch our words, our numbers, and everything when we speak. That's why when people say Happy 4th of July, I do reciprocate, but I would say it like this: Happy Independence Day. Because, you see, that's one of the reasons why, all this stuff is going on, because we have not learned to appreciate our independence, especially on our Independence Day. So now let's start to really take things back and take the tides turn of the forces, and let's name it as it is. Let's say it like it is. Happy Independence Day. That is how you do it. Happy 4th? Well, I mean, we can say Happy 4th of August, but I know people would not think that. But let's be more specific about our words, because words and numbers are very powerful. And one of the key ways of taking our power back is to take back certain things that creates the power to begin with. All right, so take care. Love you all. And like I said, happy, safe, and 4th Independence Day. And be safe and happy during this summer too, as best as you can. Even though we are vigilant, we can still find our peace, happiness, and love. And at the same time, because of that love and peace and happiness, that's why we're going to be fighting for and be more vigilant against certain forces that want to destroy the American way of life and the world too. Because once we save America, we can save the rest of the world too. So, all right, take care, and I'll talk to you guys later. Healing, it is all that is.